When our father passed away after a long illness, my older sister Diane immediately took charge of everything, from funeral arrangements to notifying relatives, which honestly felt like a relief during such an overwhelming time. Diane had always been the one our father seemed closest to growing up, the one he called most often and confided in about business decisions, so none of us questioned her taking the lead on handling his affairs. A week after the funeral, Diane called a family meeting, announcing she had found Dad's most recent will tucked inside his desk drawer, dated just 4 months before his death. According to this document, nearly everything, the house, his savings, and his small investment portfolio, was left directly to her, with only a modest fixed amount designated for me and our younger brother. I sat there stunned, since I clearly remembered Dad walking me through his original estate plan years earlier, one that split everything evenly between the three of us. Diane insisted this newer will simply reflected Dad's more recent wishes, and that people's feelings naturally change over time as they get older. Something about the entire situation felt wrong from the very beginning, though I couldn't immediately explain exactly why. Dad had always been meticulous about paperwork throughout his entire life, keeping copies of every important document neatly organized in a fireproof safe at the bank, never simply tucked away inside a desk drawer where anyone could easily access it. The signature on this newer will also looked slightly different from how I remembered Dad signing things, though I told myself grief and imagination could easily be playing tricks on my memory during such a difficult time. When I asked Diane for the contact information of the notary who had witnessed the document, she became noticeably defensive, claiming she couldn't quite remember which office they had used and that she would look into finding the paperwork eventually. Our younger brother seemed willing to simply accept whatever Diane said without question, exhausted from the funeral arrangements and not wanting to create additional family conflict during an already painful time. I decided to keep my concerns quiet for now, but I couldn't shake the growing feeling that something about this newer will simply didn't add up. I remembered Dad mentioning years earlier that he kept his original estate documents at a specific law firm downtown, the same attorney who had helped him establish his initial will and update his beneficiaries. After Mom passed away, I contacted the firm directly, and after verifying my identity as one of the named beneficiaries, the attorney confirmed they still had Dad's original signed will on file, notarized properly, and witnessed by 2 employees from their office, dated nearly 6 years before his death. This original document split the estate evenly between all 3 of us children, matching exactly what Dad had shown me during that conversation years earlier. I requested certified copies of both the will itself and the notarization records, then compared the signature on this original document against the signature on Diane's newer version side by side. The differences were subtle but noticeable once I really examined them closely, particularly in how certain letters were formed, differences that felt significant, enough to warrant a professional opinion rather than simply trusting my own untrained eye. I hired a certified handwriting expert to formally compare both signatures using Dad's known writing, samples from tax documents and personal letters spanning several decades. The expert's detailed report concluded with reasonable professional certainty that the signature on Diane's newer will did not match Dad's authentic signature, showing inconsistent pressure patterns and letter formations, typical of forgery rather than natural handwriting variation. I also contacted several notary offices near Dad's house, eventually finding one where a notary confirmed she had never notarized any document for our father, despite her stamp and signature appearing directly on Diane's version of the will, armed with the handwriting expert's report, the notary's sworn statement, and the original certified will from the law firm. I arranged a meeting with an estate attorney and presented everything calmly, without directly accusing Diane of anything in front of our brother just yet. The attorney reviewed everything carefully, confirming that the evidence strongly suggested the newer will was fraudulent, and recommended we file a formal legal challenge before any assets could be distributed, according to Diane's version of the document. When confronted with the handwriting, analysis, and the notary's sworn statement during a follow-up family meeting, Diane initially tried denying any wrongdoing, insisting the discrepancies must simply be explained by Dad's declining health affecting his handwriting near the end of his life. However, the notary's direct testimony that she had never notarized the document made that explanation impossible to maintain, and Diane eventually admitted she had forged the will after finding Dad's original document and deciding she deserved a larger share for handling most of his care during his final years. The court ultimately upheld the original notarized will from the law firm, dividing the estate evenly between all three of us as Dad had originally intended. Diane faced separate legal consequences for the forgery itself, though our family chose not to pursue the harshest possible charges out of respect for Dad's memory and our own exhaustion from the entire ordeal. Looking back, keeping a mental note of Dad's original estate plans and refusing to simply accept a conveniently timed newer document without question was what ultimately protected what he truly intended for all of us. If you ever encounter a will or document that feels inconsistent with what you remember, trust that instinct and verify everything through proper legal channels before accepting anything at face value. If you want more real stories like this one, with twists you will not see coming, make sure you subscribe so you never miss the next one.